Welcome to another episode of the Untold Stories. Remember, if you are listening to the right stories, then you are listening to the Untold Stories. Today in this episode, we're gonna talk about something which can make you forget everything. It may be a nice place to be in, but nothing grows there. Yes, we are talking about the comfort zone. But before we proceed further, let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a king who received a very special gift. Two beautiful, magnificent peregrine falcons. He handed them over to a man who was an expert in training falcons. After a couple of months, the trainer informed the king that one of the two falcons was doing really well, flying majestically, soaring into the heights of the sky. But the other one had not moved at all from its branch from the very day he had started training them. The king brought healers from all over the place to try and get the falcon to move, but the bird just would not fly. Having tried everything he could, the frustrated king said to his minister, "Maybe we need someone more familiar with the nature, someone who understands animals and birds. I think only such a person can solve the problem. Go, look for someone like this from the countryside and assign this task to him." The next morning, the king was thrilled to see the second falcon soaring high above the palace garden. Delighted, he called his minister and asked him to get the doer of this miracle to him. The minister brought a simple farmer to the king. The king asked the farmer, "How did you make the falcon fly?" The farmer replied, "It was very easy, your highness. I simply cut the branch on which the bird was sitting." We are all created to fly, to live by the incredible potential that we all have been invested with. But often we sit on our branches, holding to the things that are familiar to us, remaining stuck in our comfort zone, not willing to take risks. The possibilities are endless, but for most of us, they remain undiscovered. Because we continue to conform to the familiar, to the comfortable, to the mundane. So for the most part, our lives are mediocre instead of exciting, thrilling and fulfilling. What is the branch that is holding you back from flying high? What is the fear that is stopping you from taking a risk? What is the weakness that is inhibiting your growth? Unless we cut off the branches we are clinging to and free ourselves, we can never take off and reach newer heights in our life. What are you waiting for? Cut the branch and take your flight. I bring up this subject often in my trainings and sometimes refer to this concept as crucial versus critical, a variation of the same theme. If we do not learn to differentiate between these two forces in our lives, we will forever keep meandering back into the comfort zone. You know you are in the comfort zone when the urgent and crucial has overtaken the important and critical issues of your life. Let me tell you a story of a hunter that can give you the best description of the comfort zone. Once upon a time, there was a hunter. This hunter is deep in a jungle one night trying to trap deer when he realizes he is in tiger territory. He quickly climbs up a tree to spend the night in so that he can find his way out of there in the daylight and avoid the tigers. He finds a branch to comfortably perch on and eventually falls asleep. Later that night, he is woken up by a sound below him and realizes that a tiger has spotted him on the branch and is trying to climb the tree. As the tiger slowly inches towards, the branches start to shake. The hunter desperately tries to move higher, and in the process, a beehive on a branch above him is disturbed. The bees start buzzing around him, poised to attack. The hunter is trapped between a hungry tiger trying to climb up and the swarm of angry bees. At that exact moment, a drop of honey spills over the hive above him directly onto the lips of the hunter, and instantly he licks it. His immediate thought is, "Oh merciful God, how delicious this honey tastes." Unable to resist, he puts his tongue out for the next drop. Such is the danger of the comfort zone. It makes you forget about any imminent danger for that momentary pleasure. Let's discuss the perils of the comfort zone. Standing still is the fastest way to go backward. No one consciously seeks the comfort zone. When there is a lack of change in your life or a lack of desire to change, you end up in a comfort zone. Many a times, I have seen this happen to people who have achieved certain level of success in their life. They cling on to that ledge that has climbed onto, afraid of risking any more or climbing any further up. They are stuck where they are, unable to move, frozen with fear to the point where they cannot move down or move up, perched on a ledge in the middle of nowhere, simply dragging out the time they have yet to live. You are actually at that point going backwards. You remain blind to the comfort zone till you are in it. You might think that having achieved your success in getting to some position or place in your life means that you have escaped the comfort zone. To a certain extent, it is true. However, now having got there, not moving forward at all, not taking the same risk that you once took so liberally leads you right back into it. The risks that got you to where you are the ones that you need to keep taking. Not recognizing that you have slipped into the comfort zone results in your not seeing the need of the said risk. When you recognize that you are not taking any risk, you know you are right in the middle of the comfort zone. No risk, no life. Or as the saying goes, no pain, no gain. If you are not in some kind of pain or taking some kind of risk, you are back into the comfort zone. If you are not in motion, you are in demotion. The comfort zone is a destination, not the journey. The moment you realize that you are at a destination as opposed to continuing the journey, you know that the comfort zone has taken over. Life is nothing but a journey. There are no stops. Any kind of diversion of this motion is actually slipping back into the comfort zone. In other words, when you are constantly moving forward in some direction, you are leaving behind the comfort zone. The comfort zone dulls your senses and lulls you into a false sense of security. We are all 2 minutes from the abyss at all times. I keep reminding myself that the abyss is usually right next to me. Not feeling it or not sensing it is our biggest danger, and that is the comfort zone. Remember, if you are listening to the right stories, then you are listening to the untold stories. And if this episode has matched your wavelength, then share it with people who need it. And just in case you have the time, then you must listen to my other episode, The Making of Lord Hanuman, where I talked about how one monkey saw Lord in Rama and became God in the process over a period of time. That's all from this episode. Remember friends, you too have untold stories to tell which can make a difference in someone's life, because certain untold stories are born out of certain lives and certain lives are born out of certain untold stories.